After 2 rings, the line clicked alive. "Little Sicily," a voice proclaimed, thick with a heavy Italian accent that carried both authority and warmth. Julia didn't need to ask who it was. She could picture him instantly. Vinny, the owner, Brian's boss, the man who had nodded permission with a single glance the night she'd been asked to leave. "Order for delivery, please," Julia said, her voice calm despite the quickened beat of her heart. "What can I get you?" Vinny replied. "I'd like to order 1 large, plain New York-style cheese." "Anything else?" "Nope, that'll be all." There was a brief pause, the scratch of pen on paper. "Name and address, please." "J," Julia said, the pseudonym slipping out smoothly. 1735 Main Street, apartment 1501. "Cash or card?" "Cash, please." "Okay," Vinny said. "Give us about 35 to 40 minutes. "Thank you," Julia replied. She hung up before she could overthink it. The apartment felt unusually quiet once the call ended, as if it were holding its breath alongside her. Julia set her phone down and looked around, suddenly unsure what to do with herself. On impulse, she turned on the television. Netflix loaded. Rows of thumbnails scrolled past, shows she'd never watched, names she barely recognized. She landed on a stand-up comedy special almost by accident and pressed play. It had been months since she'd turned on the TV. At first, she watched passively, half expecting her mind to wander back to case law or timelines. But it didn't. The comedian's voice filled the room, casual and sharp, observations tumbling out in a rhythm that felt oddly soothing. Julia found herself leaning back on the couch. She smiled. Then, unexpectedly, she laughed. Out loud. The sound startled her. She brought a hand to her mouth as if someone might hear her through the walls. When was the last time I laughed like that? She wondered briefly. Then the next punchline landed, and she laughed again, harder this time. In the span of days, her behavior had shifted in ways she would have once found alarming. Watching television, laughing, ordering pizza, and not just any pizza. She was actually looking forward to it. The slice she'd had at Little Sicily's had been better than she wanted to admit, and now the anticipation curled pleasantly in her stomach. The time flew by, completely. She lost track of minutes, then entire segments of the show, absorbed in a world where the stakes were low and the reward was simple amusement. Then the intercom buzzed. "Pizza delivery for you, Julia," the doorman's voice crackled through. "Should I send them up?" "Yes, please," she said quickly. Her heart rate jumped. She sprang up, remote in hand. Pause Netflix. Check. TV off. Check. She hurried to the bathroom and splashed warm water on her face, studying her reflection. Did that last joke actually make me cry? She wondered, noticing the faint redness around her eyes. She smiled at herself, just a little. The elevator ride felt longer than it was. A minute, maybe 2. When the knock finally came, sharp and polite, Julia smoothed her hair and opened the door. The person standing there was not Brian. It was a girl, young, startlingly so, with green hair pulled into a messy ponytail and a small silver nose ring that caught the light. A rose tattoo bloomed across her left forearm, vibrant against pale skin. She looked just old enough to have qualified for her driver's license yesterday. $14, please, the girl said. Julia handed over a 20. Keep the change.
Thanks, the girl replied, already turning away. The door closed softly. Julia stood there for a moment, pizza box warm in her hands, absorbing the disappointment without letting it sink too deep. In the back of her mind, she'd known this was a possibility. Brian might not be on deliveries, might be off that night, might never deliver to her building at all. It was fine. I charge $500 an hour for my services, she thought dryly. I can order another pizza. She set the box on the counter, took a slice, and returned to the couch. The comedy special resumed, and she finished it, laughing again, though with a faint undercurrent of restlessness now. When the credits rolled, she checked the time. 2 hours had passed. On impulse, or perhaps stubbornness, she called Little Sicily's again and ordered another pie. The delivery arrived as promised. This time, it was a heavy-set man in his early 50s, cheeks flushed from the cold, expression friendly but tired. "Here you go," he said. Julia handed him a 20. "Thank you." She placed the untouched pizza in the fridge beside the first and called it a night. At noon the following day, she ordered again. Same result, same heavy-set man. At 4 o'clock, another delivery. This time the green-haired girl returned, grinning as she handed over the box. At 5, Julia opened her refrigerator for a couple of strawberries and froze. The bright red container was buried behind 4 large cheese pizzas, stacked like an absurd monument to poor decision-making. She stared at them, hands on the fridge door, and sighed. This is not going to plan. For the first time since she'd started this strange campaign, doubt crept in. She considered changing tactics, abandoning the whole thing, admitting defeat, letting Brian remain a closed chapter. Then another thought followed, quieter but persistent. One more time. At about 10 o'clock, she placed the order again. Maybe Brian had the graveyard shift. Maybe tonight would be different. The routine repeated itself. The doorman called up, the elevator chimed, footsteps approached, and a knock at the door. But this time, Julia didn't open the door right away. An intuition, sharp, insistent, stopped her hand inches from the knob. She leaned forward and looked through the peephole. It took only one glance. It was him.